Is anyone else paying attention to what like the Republicans' actual plan is? They're gonna raise taxes on everybody making less than $100,000 a year. And then they're gonna start phasing out Social Security and Medicare.
If the Republicans take back control of the Congress and the Senate, or just one of them, first and foremost, let's be serious with ourselves right now. They're going to push forth the agenda that their base wants because their base controls the politicians. That's why, even though as Trump was coming into office in 2016, all the politicians who openly were against him because he's a buffoon and a clown, even though that was the case, they ended up siding with him and licking his boots every single chance they got, because if they didn't, then they would have ended up getting voted out of office, which just goes to show the power that Trump still has in the party and the country at large.
Entitlements, they call them. Those are not entitlements. Social Security is an insurance policy to pay people who can't work anymore. We pay for that. Working people pay into that.
But, a huge portion of the Republican base wants to see a push for a state by state abortion criminalization. And so, if the Republicans get control of the Congress and the Senate in some type of way, they're going to open the doors for that to happen. They're going to push the agenda even further, because it's not like they aren't doing it actively now. Even before the draft, the Roe v. Wade draft came out from the Supreme Court, Republican states were criminalizing abortion. So it's already happening. So we know that if they take control of the chambers, they're going to push forth that agenda even harder, because that's what they do.
And the Republicans just want to steal it. And they put it in black and white. And Rick Scott let everybody know. Wow.
Again, even though the vast majority of the Republican base is not the top percentage of the wealth in the country, we're just talking about everyday average Americans. Even though that's the case, the Republican Party is able to throw in our faces what their agenda is. Even, just general economic things like not being in favor of a minimum wage, something that would help, vast portions of the Republican base, just general everyday workers. Republicans wanting to continuously cut welfare programs and Social Security nets that much of the Republican base relies on now. Granted, pretty much any time the Republicans come out and say, we're going to cut Social Security, even the Republicans will be like, no, you're not. But still, these are the people who they vote for, because they're able to dangle cultural issues like abortion and, critical race theory and just the idea of what America stands for. They're able to dangle that over the, heads of their base, because it takes heavier precedent in their minds than actual policy issues.
Keep that in mind when you guys go to the voting booths. I'm saying it for a long time. Republicans only pass policies to benefit the top 1%. Democrats pass policies to benefit the bottom 95. Make your choice.
And even before news broke about Republicans having a plan to raise middle class taxes, that's what the Trump administration did with the tax plan that they passed. After 10 years, sunset provisions hit and taxes go up for middle class citizens to pay for the gap that was created by lowering taxes for corporations and the wealthiest among us. So, not just that, but also, think about just the destruction that the Trump administration caused to, just literal lives in our country by how we responded to COVID. They dismantled our healthcare system and our response system in such a way that the United States, the wealthiest country, not only in the world, but in history, the country that's supposed to be number one and the biggest and baddest at everything, had the worst response in the world, pretty much. We had more deaths. We had more rapid outbreaks. I live out here in the New York area. We had one of the worst spreads ever, and they were, trying to hail Andrew Cuomo like he did such a great job. But the reality is basically herd immunity happened out here. It was that out of control. That's what ended up happening out here. Our response was that bad, just all over the country in general. So again, we're dealing with a base and with a party that doesn't care about reality. They are now just, it's not new, but now even more than ever, they're just telling us, hey, we're going to screw the middle class. We're going to screw the working people. And they're going to keep getting their votes from that base, because as long as they keep on focusing on these culture wars, that's all they need to do to get the wins, when and where they need them.